We are streaming live on our Facebook feed and our YouTube channel. So I hope that you all can hear me. So give me a shout out, please. If you can hear me, that would be great. I want to make sure that everyone can see me over there. I know that YouTube is up and running, but I want to make sure that our Facebook feed. Great, I see Gita has commented as beadshop.com. That is perfect. Thank you, Gita, for coordinating that. And I think, let me know if you can hear and see me over on our YouTube feed. I think we are set to go. Alrighty, everybody. Good. You can hear me, and now you will be able to see me very shortly as soon as I make sure that I am looking okay. Alrighty, here this morning. Sorry about the little bit of a late start, but when there is a camera connection issue from all of these wires, that means I have to stop and restart everything. So that means that it takes me a minute. So let me make sure. Can you guys? Brittany, you're telling me you can't hear me, but can anyone else hear me? Okay. Double check your video or your sound, because it looks like on all of my cameras it looks like it's going out. So double check your audio, but give me a thumbs up. Everybody can hear me, correct? Good. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Yeah, so make sure that your sound is all the way up. I'm not sure what's up. Let me make sure that with Facebook it looks like everything is connected correctly. So, okay, you had to reload. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. Then, connectivity issues in the time of coronavirus. Everybody and their brother and sister are broadcasting right now, so sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get on. So there we are. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna have I have coffee in one hand. I have bubbly water in the other. So I'm staying hydrated, which is a good thing. Alrighty. Well, today, you guys, we are gonna have some fun. Peyote week continues. I hope that you are all doing well and kind of enjoyed that little walk down memory lane yesterday that we took with some past bead shop glory days when we had our brick and mortar store, the bead shop in Palo Alto, Los Altos, San Jose. We had multiple locations, as well as talking a little bit about Janice's mother, Lydia, who was part of our founding mothers here at Bead Shop. So it's great to see everybody today. We have an amazing project. I'm going to click over here for you guys to look at it. Yes, this is the Peyote project, and let me get this string out of the way here. And the originals were done by Janice, right? And Janice and I did a live broadcast with them a while back on our Bead Shop Live program that we would do together. So these are Janice's originals here and here. And then a design table member and team lead, Allie Morey. Allie just jumped in and said, I'm going to do this with this Peyote thing, right? And when Allie puts her hand to something, okay, it turns out beautifully. These are just gorgeous, and they're totally inspirational. So between Janice's first broadcast of this O Peyote, where she did the peyote stitch with the O beads and kind of put the drops and stuff in, and then Allie coming in and creating a piece with the 8/0 peyote with the O beads at the bottom, and as well as O beads and check drops at the bottom here. Okay, so we have a really amazing resource for you for this that Allie put together, of course, and it's, of course, like everything she does, it is really makes it look beautiful. And I'm going to show you this. I pulled it up on our on my iPad here, so you guys could see what it looks like. Bear with me here just a second. I had it here a moment ago, but you guys can continue to look at those pretty samples that are over there. So I'm going to come over here to the center screen. I hope there's not too much of a glare. It's a little bit of a glare on here. I'm sorry about that. Let me try and reduce the glare a little bit here. You can really see my camera equipment. You can see it. There we go. Well, let me see if I can turn up the contrast here a little bit, but you'll be able to see well enough anyway. So here we are with our website. Okay, right here. Let me get maybe a little closer to the camera. Maybe that's better. Here I've got it here on the iPad. And so if you go to projects, right, and you go and make it a little bit bigger, you go to necklaces here, right, and we scroll down, we scroll, and oh look, there it is, Oh Peyote. Let's click on it. Okay. And then you can see Allie's newest. We've got Nature's Hope, we've got Early Spring, and we've got Looking Up are those three. And then Janice's Age of Antiquity, Rain Dance, and Tuscany. I'm going to open up this Nature's Hope. Just going to click on it here. And you can see, of course, all of the stuff that you need to purchase. But also here, there's a video, and this video is probably, or maybe it's Janice's video and I already connected to it, but let me show you this. When you click on Handout, what happens is you get this PDF handout right here that Allie created. And so you can save it to your iBooks or, your Kindle or whatever, right? And you can see the amazing work that Allie did on this. And it has if you want to go to the ingredients, you can just click on it. It's all been hyperlinked. But she starts out, and I want to show you this here. I'm going to kind of maybe put it this way. Maybe it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. Again, sorry about the glare, but that's just what we've got going on. But Allie talks a little bit about how, well, not a little bit, she gives you the step-by-steps in order to start this piece. And it starts in a very similar manner to, if you remember how I did that lantern pendant with Danielle Wicks, right? It starts just like that, but then Allie comes in and begins to peyote stitch off of that tube. And can you see how she continues just that peyote stitching from here, just keeps going down, and then peyote stitches. Okay, and so all of the directions, connecting it, and she has a little chart here. She has a chart for this one, the Secura Skies, and then the last one for this one that's called Looking Up. Okay, so it's all here. Okay, and so I wanted to point that out because I'm going to do kind of a quick overview of all of this today. But I want you to take advantage of using that handout. But I want to show you, I'm going to bring this one in nice and tight here so you guys can see it. Okay. And this is the one, okay, that, see here how she started. And you'll look in the instructions. Very easy to start, right? peyote, peyote, peyote. And then the connection, I'll push it to the back, is she just starts peyote stitching right off that tube. Okay, so there's no gluing involved in any of this, right? She just stitched that stitch, made it however many rows that she said in the handout. And then eventually at the end, she glued in these parasol caps. Okay, so this has such a wealth, I want to say, just a wealth of possibilities for you to play with. And you can see how she just put the, right here, the jump ring right through the peyote, right here, and just connected those dangles. So you could connect anything you like onto this. She used these wonderful leaf, you know, the nice leaf charms on here. And then you can connect it. What I love about these that Ali did, I'm going to move this for a second. And so we're going to look at the samples just real quick, kind of up close and personal. And then I'm going to show you a couple of twists. What a surprise. March into my own tune on this. So Ali used chain for this one and did some wire wrap bead stations on this chain. Okay, which looks great. And then she strung this one. Now this with the Sakura Skies, this was Jordan's mix that she did in for the February mix, right? Beautiful with the little cherry blossom in the center. Again, that same connection with the caps. But this time what Ali did was she did little dangles on the sides, right? Dangles. So charming. Then she strung, and she used 2 strands of, looks like Ceylon here, and then brought them together in and out with the seed beads, right? Out with the bugles and the 11/aughts, and then in connected under the 8 and the 6/aughts. And then look what she did. Oh no, you know what? She strung this because it's all the way over here, and it's probably in the handout. I should look. She began over the base, so this must be Chinese knotting cord, maybe size 0.4 millimeter. And then she macrameed the rest of the way. And this is the twist macrame, when you macrame all in one direction. Okay. And then she just connected a button on one side and made a loop on the other. And each project on the website has a project map for it. Okay, and this is just strung. It's simply strung. It's not herringbone, though you could, but it's just strung on 2 strands. See how the strands come together under this matubo? Then they split out for the 11/aughts, come together under the 8s and the 6s, split out for the bugles, come back together, and so that's all it is. And then that base, if I'm not mistaken, is used to macrame over the top with here at the end. Okay, so that's the Sakura Skies. Now this one, Ali did that kind of the same thing that Janice did with the Peyote, where she added the check drops down here at the bottom. And earlier this week on Peyote Stitch Week, we've been talking about figuring out how many beads fit, right, in between when you're peyote stitching. So she did a 2-drop here. Can you see how that's a 2-drop, and this is a 1-drop, meaning that there's just 1 bead, and you can see how these are double. So she puts on 2 and goes through 2. Okay, so that's a 2-drop peyote. So and then she uses, instead of 2 O beads down here, she uses 3 down here. And you should be able to, when you take a look at the handout, you'll see all that. It'll be a good guide. That plus the project maps that Karen has up on the website already, because these are all up as projects. I wanted to share these that Janice also made, because they're a fun way to utilize different closures. So you don't have to make it super fancy pants either. Janice just did some simple work with this one with 11/aughts, and that's a 2-drop 8/aught peyote. And then she peyoted with the O beads here, doubled, right? And then ended it with the drops. And she just used the deerskin lace and put one of these coil spacers on and glued it in place. And then at the end, these are the Jardin crimps here with a little bit of chain and the swivel clasp to make it adjustable. Okay, so that's a great way to close. She also did one where she strung it on O beads, which is cool. It looks like cord, right? And so they're just strung, and what Janice looks like what she strung them on was 1 millimeter leather cord, right? And the loop is just leather, and so it's strung up. The leather is looped through the button, and it's come back, and it's silk wrapped there. Same thing with this loop. Okay, super easy, right? Then this last one, Janice used everyone's favorite, the wheat chain, and she made it a little more fancy here at the end, right? The wheat chain, she just came in and wire wrapped this Jardin ring with the swivel clasp, used a little cascade of the drops and this chain here, and it just goes right in the middle. And I think she had too short of a chain to do it, so she just came in and wire wrapped that chain together, and that wire wrap just hides right under the bail of this piece. Okay, so again, and we do have, make up your own colorways. Right now, as you know, if you're ordering anything online, we are trying to keep up with orders. I'm telling you, Chris and I are working so hard to try and get orders out as quickly as we can. So we really, really appreciate your patience. But don't worry, we do, things are moving in and out here at Bead Shop. So we we'll get everything back in. So if we're out of stock on something, don't despair. Put yourself on the waiting list, okay? And you'll get an email when it comes back in. But we have plenty of stock of a lot of this stuff. So now is the time to create your own colorways with this, right? Jump in, shop by color and take a look at all of the different colors and things that we have. We talk a lot about color. So what I'm doing in the spirit of this O Peyote, since it's Peyote week, I'm going to give you a little bit of my personal spin on this. And I know we started a little bit later, and I'm having a few urgency issues about getting into fulfillment, but I do want to share this with you because in the shower this morning, and if you've been watching me for any length of time, I get my best ideas in the shower in the morning when I always run through the show in my head, kind of, in the shower as I'm preparing for the day. So this is what ran through my head today. So I wanted to share some ideas with you, okay, based on these kind of great inspirational O Peyote pieces. So I grabbed, thinking about connecting, okay? And I love, what's my favorite thing? That's such an open-ended question. My favorite things, what day is it? It just depends on the day, right? But one of my favorite things to do and wear are bracelets. So how would you incorporate this O Peyote idea from a pendant into a bracelet? Okay, so that's what I want to share with you this morning. And shower thoughts. I should do a live. No, scratch that. I'm not doing a live from the shower. But shower thoughts. Shower thoughts with Kate. Totally. So there's some jump rings, and I'll tell you what I've gotten here so you guys can see this. But you know how we used the O beads, because it's called O Peyote, right? So I got the crystal slipperet O bead, which I really love a lot. And it's the glass, so I'll pull it out there so you guys can see it. I'm going to get a little closer with the camera so you can see it. There we go. Okay, so this is what I have in front of me. I have no idea if this is going to work because, again, during these times, I don't prep that much for these broadcasts, as sometimes you can tell, right? So this is Kate riffing right off the bat here, okay? And the triangles that I'm using, these are a big favorite. We love these guys. Unfortunately, the supply chain on these were out right now. Our supplier says sometime in May. So if you want the triangles, put yourself on the list. We promise to get them back in. And it'll give you something to look forward to, right? So what I have here is I have the textured jump ring. This is the textured jump ring. It's the 6mm. I grabbed it in gold because that's kind of, as I walked by, I saw a half open package, so I grabbed them. Okay. These are the Coil Spacers in antique brass Heishi, the crystal slipperet O beads, and then I grabbed 2 of the 8/0s. And I think Ellie uses them, or at least uses one of these. She used, it's this one here, the 4243, this guy, the silver lined, I don't know, silver lined topaz something, but if you look up the number, it's 4243. And then everyone's favorite that is also in here, it's this one right here, the Picasso Seafoam Green, 4514. Okay, and I thought it all kind of made a nice little color palette here. Okay, so I'm gonna also dump out a few of these. Okay, so here's my 4515. Faye, you are so kind. She says, and it always works out. Yes. Well, it doesn't always, but sometimes it does. Yes, after shower thoughts with Kate. That's probably better, Kim, unless I have just a small camera. You can, you know, as I wash my hair, we can chat. I don't know. I like to multitask, especially in these times, right? And here, I don't know, I pulled that alder leaf charm just because we had it. I have no idea if I can use it or not. Okay, but I'm going to start the peyote stitch. Okay, and remember yesterday, though, sometimes yesterday feel like 10 years ago? I don't know. Or a minute ago, one of the two. I don't know. Remember how yesterday in the stretch project that I did here, right? I peyote stitch, peyote stitch, peyote stitch, peyote stitch, and then I went to the other side and peyote stitch, peyote stitch, peyote stitch. So it doesn't matter, right? You can start in the center and then work your way out, okay? So that's kind of what I'm thinking with this. So I'm gonna grab some Hana because, again, that's what I have on my table. Though you could use micro Ceylon too, or Fireline, or Ceylon D, our size D thread that we have. Any of those will work, right? But I have Hana Pebble in my favorite color. That's always kind of near me, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to reel off some, I don't know, maybe this is 2 board lengths, so maybe 28 inches, one, maybe it's like 2.5 board lengths about. Okay, am I going to wax it? Yes, I am, just for fun. Let me widen this shot a little bit so you can see a little bit more now that you know what beads those are. Okay, and I'm going to wax this, okay, and go through. Now, needles, the needle I'm going to use, what do I have sitting next to me? That's going to dictate what I'm going to use. This little strawberry emery strawberry that Emily made me, which kind of makes me weep with joy and weep with missing her. This is a size 10 sharp. It's what I have in my hand, so that's what I'm going to use. Though you can use a size 10 beading needle as well, but I've got a sharp, so that's what I'm going to use. Okay, and do I have? Faye says she's never used micro sealon. I'm trying to see if I have a thing of micro in here. I don't. It is thicker than Fireline. And remember this one that I talked about yesterday, this piece with the 8 delicas? If I'm using just the delicas and like the shadow beads and stuff or something like this, I like using, and you can see like right there where there's a little space, I use the micro sealon on this one. Okay, so it gives a little more heft to the piece, I think. So that's what I've used there. So now I'm just going to do one row of peyote stitch, right? But I'm going to leave a tail on the other end. And let me see how many. I'm just going to put on as many beads as I want to put on, and we'll see how wide this goes. I don't want to do it too wide because I don't want this to take forever. And I'm going to start with this blue, the seafoam green, because why not? I know it's everybody's favorite seed bead, or at least it's high on the list for Janice and I. So you've seen me peyote stitch, so I'm not going to belabor the peyote stitching too much, but let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This looks like the right amount to me. Okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to kind of go to the center here. I still have a bunch of thread over here on this side. And the mantra for your first row, if you can get past the first row of peyote stitching, you're golden, right? So here's the 5. I'm going to skip a bead, I'm going to put on a bead, I'm going to go through a bead. Okay, and again, these are 8/0. That first row is the bear, so that little first thing, you've got to kind of pull it into like a little T. There we go. Right, there it is. 1. So next one, the mantra is, everybody say it with me, skip a bead, which is this one, add a bead, and go through a bead. Okay. And pull that down. There we go. Add a bead onto your needle, skip a bead, and go through a bead. And what I mean by the micro gives the piece more heft, I guess what I mean is it gives it a little stiffer hand, right? It's not as loosey-goosey maybe as thinner thread might be, so it feels more substantial and solid, I guess. That's what I mean. Okay. So yeah, so this is even count peyote. So I'm going to skip a bead, put on a bead, go through a bead. Bam. Okay. Skip that bead, put on a bead, and go through that last one. So magically, as if by magic, I have my first 3 rows, right? There they are. Ta-da! Now I'm going to peyote stitch at Kate's speed for just a couple more rows, so bear with me here while I do that. And I'm going to answer some questions that I see out of the corner of my eye. Marianne is asking, Kate, when do I choose even count peyote over odd count peyote? I'm going to make a confession right now, Marianne. Everybody else close your ears. Don't listen to this. It's just me and Marianne talking right now. Or Mary Ellen, I'm sorry. Marianne Siegel, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say Marianne. I know who you are. It's just me and Mary Ellen right here. This is the confessional. I don't know how to do odd count peyote. So so that rules that out. I always do even count. I mean, I guess I could figure it out. There's a ton of tutorials out there and I could use it, right? And odd count probably would be good if you wanted something like in the center, running down the center or whatever, right? And you needed an even amount of beads on either side, right? But until that day comes, that I feel like I need to learn odd count peyote, it's even count peyote for me. Okay, so now everybody else, you can start listening. That my confession to Mary Ellen is is complete. Okay, so here's a couple of rows here, and maybe I'll just do like 5. Here and through this last. If you don't know Picasso beads, and I know that you do, but if you don't, oh my gosh, get familiar. The Picasso seed beads that we have are just, as Faye would like to say, they are to live for. They're so pretty. Okay, one more row here. And then we're going to assess. We're going to see where the heck Kate is going to go with this, because your guess is as good as mine. It is, these are 8/0 is what I'm using here. And what's saying? Oh, Linda Henderson is saying it's not hard. Well, Linda, if you're saying it's not hard, then I believe you, because you are an accomplished bead woman for sure. I'll have to look it up. I'll make that put it on my to-do list. All right, here we go. Okay, so there it is. So I've done 6, and remember to count how many rows we have. Remember that from yesterday? I count the outside rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means I've got 6 rows here. Okay. So let me add, just for fun, I'm going to add this, what's this color? The 4243, also in 8/0. Gives a nice contrast to it, right? So let me put a row of that on. Come on, get on my needle. This way I don't also have to plan too much. So here's this, right? And here. Here, okay, like this. And I'm going to do one more going back on it. Now this piece that I'm making, I don't know, my brain is working as I'm doing this. You may see this piece reappear. Next week I've been thinking about it. I told Drea very confidently yesterday in our quick Zoom meeting, Drea and Janice and Karen, they Zoom and they figure out what's going on, and then I pop in for 10 minutes and try and figure out what's going on. I told Drea very confidently yesterday on the Zoom meeting, next week is going to be Lariat Week, which I think it is still going to be Lariat Week, but it's going to be a little different. Things are shaping up a little differently in my head, so you're going to see this reappear next week, I think. Needle the thread, Richburg. Do not thread the needle. There we go. And see how I'm going to the opposite side now, right? So I'm just going to come in and add those 2 rows over here, right? Because I didn't know what I wanted, right? I know, don't we miss Emily? I miss her. I talk to her on the phone a couple of times a week. I miss Brittany. Brittany just texted me before we went on air, and she said, we need to catch up because I've got some ideas to run by you. And I'm like, oh my God, my head just exploded, right? I don't know if you've seen, Brittany's working on, well, it's finished now. It's gorgeous. It's over on the bead table. It really is a magnum opus of a macrame design. When I saw it, it really stopped me in my tracks. And a lot of things stopped me in my tracks, or, during this time of kind of crazy COVID-ness, right? When I see people being really nice, or I see a commercial that makes me cry, or I just think about my friends that are far away, and I literally just stop. I have to stop for a moment and just let that thought kind of manifest. So when I saw that piece of Brittany's, when she posted it on the bead table, I looked at it and I literally stopped. I literally kind of teared up, and I thought, in my head went immediately to sitting next to Brittany right here on a live broadcast, showing you guys how to do it. And then I had to shake it off and move on because I had an order to fill. But you know what I mean? You know, sometimes you just see something and it just stops you right there. Okay, so now there it is. So now I've done, that was 6 rows. So now those are 8 rows. Okay, I'm going to add a row of 8/0 here on each side. This might be a mistake. It might not be. But I'm going to just peyote with these 8/0. I mean, sorry, the O beads. And see how the O beads, like what like Allie did in her piece at the bottom, right? So it looks like 2 O beads stacked together, fit in between those 8/0 beads. Whoops. Oh, I was 1 short. Okay. That goes through. Okay. And then I think I'm going to come through. Let's see what contrasting it looks like. Is that going to be tall enough? I don't think it will be. I'm going to use I'm going to do another row. Okay. Because these are a little taller. Yeah, there we go. That looks right. So we're just going to peyote stitch these in, right? Because that's how it fits. Looks good. Let me get these 2. I don't know. During these times, you know, it's nice to be here at the office with Chris, and it's nice to be at home with Chris, and you know, I mean, we're managing not to you know, fall into too deep of despair, but once in a while, you know, you just you know, seeing Brittany's new project, just, I don't know, it just gave me hope, and it made me really melancholy all at the same time. I'll be honest. It was so good. It was so good. So thank you so much, Britt, for posting it. So see, now that I've done the O beads on that side, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the O beads on this side, right? Just fast. Right, so there we go. So again, I don't want this to tangle, so let me put that over there. So let me just tighten this in. Emily is all moved. She made her move. You know, doing a move in this time of crazy isolation is difficult in itself, but she's all moved and safe and sound. She's doing very well. She can't wait she has a couple of projects actually on the back burner, and she's all, no, I'll get them done before the move. And I was like, yeah, no, you won't. So she has some things she's working on. So as soon as we can safely stop social distancing, we'll have everybody back on. But for now, all you guys get is me. That's it. Let's go back through and let's do this other one. But it's good to know, you know, I love it when you guys check in, even when you check in just on your order notes and stuff like that. It's good to know that everybody is hanging in there. It's rough, but it also shows how adaptable we can become you know, just the simple act of, going to the grocery store after work or getting a manicure on a weekend or whatever, right? You can just kind of adapt. Those things will come back, but, we miss them, but we'll get through this. But boy, do I want a manicure real bad. Right? So, yeah. So Emily's all safe and sound and moved. She's living now near Sacramento, which is nice. She doesn't have such a large place to contend with, which is good. So here's that. So now we've got O beads on the sides. Okay. So now, I don't know. What else did I grab? I grabbed Hishi. So let me see how many Hishi beads. I wonder if just one will work. I might need two. Or Hishi might not be the thing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ditch it. I didn't like it. Oh, and you know what? Never try and go back. Richburg, just take the needle off, pull this out. There we go. Let's take a look and see what fits, because I have in my brain what I want this to look like, but I'm not sure. Yes, there's Emily. Emily just jumped on the Facebook feed, which is awesome. This is, let's see. Well, that's my favorite bead in the whole wide world. Let's see what it looks like. It's the regular shadow. Let's see if it makes it, because we were peyote stitching with these shadows. Needle the thread, right, Em? Needle the thread. Let me do it on this side. Needle the thread. There we go. Good one. So let me just do a line, because I've got them here, right? Let's see what this looks like, because it's shaping up in my head. All right, we're putting this on. Tighten it. Remember how last time with that? Yeah, look at that. Let's see. I think this is going to work. When I was doing it with the Stretch Magic, sometimes you have to do that first little tighten on the bead row. All right, yeah. And then wait for it. Then, all right, come on now. You can't stop me. You can't stop me from peyote stitching with shadow beads. Yes, girl. Look at that. And this one. Okay, how does this row look? It looks amazing. Let me do that on the other side. Okay. Right, so you can switch back and forth. Peyote stitching does not have to be linear. Right? I'm one of those people, I know it drives half of you watching out there crazy, but I'm the one who writes across the lines on binder paper, not on the lines. So linear is not always my forte, if you will. These are regular shadows. This is Kate's favorite bead, used in what we call Kate's favorite wrap bracelet. It's on the web. It is the regular shadow in brass. And if you guys are members of the bead table, Drea has a pinned post on there right now, and she has a challenge going on about making Kate's favorite, a project based on Kate's favorite. Look at that, you guys. Come on now. Holy cannoli. I think this looks pretty good. Stay with me. I'm just going to do a couple more rows, and then we're going to revisit this. This is good times right here, kids. I'm going to come in. I'm going to do another row. I hope you like, I don't know. I'm getting super excited about this. I don't know what, how you guys are feeling about that. I don't know. Show me some love. Give me some hearts, some thumbs up. I don't know. Something like that. And on that same note, I want to mention a real big thank you to so many of you who have been sharing and commenting on these projects that we're making. These daily broadcasts are a lot of fun for us, but they also really help to get the word out to the world that Bead Shop, although we are working under COVID restrictions and trying to be as safe as we can be here to in this working environment, what's happening these days. We really, really appreciate your likes and shares because without you guys, we would not be in business. So thank you from the bottom of our little beady hearts, because I've been doing this almost 30 years. Beads are what I know. This is it. Beads and metal, right? Janice has been doing this since she was a teen in her mother's antique store. So we are so thankful that we are able to continue doing what we love. And with the addition of Brittany and Emily and their ideas, and Karen and Drea, keeping everything running on the operations, and and Chris keeping it all together with getting those packages out and filling his little heart out. He's filling orders as we speak. So we would not be able to do this without you. So again, let me express my gratitude to each and every one of you while I place these O beads into place. And you can see this isn't taking too long. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to add one more row of O beads, and then we're going to assess. So I don't want you to think, like, I'm not thinking too far ahead. It's kind of like the metaphor for life right now. Just don't think too far ahead. Just do what you got to do to get through today. And what I'm doing right now is doing what I've got to do to get through this broadcast, right? So yeah, oh peyote. Who knew, Janice, when you started? I'll be honest, I was a little like, Janice, what are you doing peyote stitching with O beads? You are a crazy cat. And then she sent those samples in, and I was all, oh, that's what you meant. That's good times right there. So they're really fun to peyote stitch with. So now I've done kind of an even amount. So let's take a look. And then let's also look how this is flared out a little bit, right? So you can see how it's kind of, it started here with the 8s, and then it splayed out a little bit with the O beads, even more with those shadows. And now I think I'm going to come back in with another row of 8s, though I'm kind of running out of thread. But I want to kind of bring all this back in a little bit, right? And then I gotta boogie because I gotta get going here. But I could just stay on this broadcast with you guys all day and just bead, but alas, it's not in the cards for me today. But let me just finish this real quick like. And then this is going to make another appearance because I think I know what I'm going to be doing. So just a couple more here. Go with me on this. But, you know, work with, this is another way of also seeing how when you create a harmonious palette, how that harmonious palette in action will kind of work. So you don't have to think too much, you know, like, oh my gosh, what bead am I going to put in there? Or what color am I going to do? Or I don't know, what's going to happen now? You know, just have your little, like you're a chef, your little mise en place in front of you and just throw it in the soup, right? See how it works. All right, so here's this. Okay, and I'll just finish that other side so we've got symmetry. And then we'll call it a day on this one. And I'm gonna this is the time, and I can tell in my brain, I don't know if you guys can, but I can tell when it's getting to the time when I need to let it simmer, right? Where my brain is kind of darting around a little bit and going, oh, what's it gonna go, you know, when it doesn't quite flow as easily as, you know, it does when you're kind of in the zone, when your brain kind of starts to dart around a little bit, that's when I let it simmer and I go, okay, I'm going to come back to this, because when I look at it again, I'll know what to do next. Okay, so here's that. Here's this one, and then I'll measure it and stuff for you. We'll go over what I did and everything. Let me just get these last few beads in. But when something works like this, doesn't it kind of, I don't know, it makes me really happy. Janice will tell you we had a check-in on the phone this morning and I was just grumpy pants. But I'm feeling better now that I've made this kind of cool piece, right? So let's put this down. Okay. So, okay. So let's take a look. Gita says, send it to me, Kate. I'll finish it for you. So what I've done, this is what I've done so far here, is we use the 8/0 in the center, right? Very reminiscent of kind of this kind of colorway, this piece that Allie did with her Peyote. Okay. And then we went to this, let me get them here. And that was that 45-14. Then I went to that 42-43. Okay. Then I went to that O bead. That's the crystal slipperit right here. That guy. And then I went to the regular shadows that I've been using in almost everything that I've been making, these quarantine pieces, right? And then I just mirrored it. So here's my center. Then it went out, so I felt like I need to pull it back in. So I went back to the 8/0 here. And I'm gonna let me measure this for you so you have an idea of the length. And I'm gonna let it simmer. Yeah, it's about a little over 1.5 inches, right? Just a hair over 1.5 inches. So I think it looks pretty good. Okay, and I'm gonna let it sit. Okay, I'm gonna let it simmer here. It does involve, I think, coming in though with those coil beads somewhere and attaching them. I'm just saying. That's what I'm thinking. let's take a look. I'm going to pull out here. Let me give you one more gander. Let me clean these up because I got them all messed up here. These guys, the originals of Peyote. You can find all of these under our necklace link. If you go to the homepage on beadshop.com, go to the pull down on necklaces and scroll down to Peyote and you'll find it there. Okay. And you can use, go ahead and use your beads. Use the thread, whatever you kind of dig. Again, I used Hana Pebble because that's, whoops, I'm not here. Hana Pebble like this. But you could use Fireline for sure. You could use Superlon, sure. You could even try, if you have micro Ceylon, you can do that too. So here on my wrist, someone asked, who was it that said, put it on your wrist, Kate. You know where I'm going with this, you think. Okay? So look at, that's a good center here. Alrighty. So we will continue this little saga. I'm going to take, so before I sign off, I'm going to take a photo of this for Drea so that I don't forget. Let me get that right in there. I'll take a nice little shot of it so Drea can post it eventually. This is so, again, because if I don't do it when I'm with you guys like right now, I totally will forget. And Drea will be all, where's that photo? And I'll be all, who is this? New phone, who's this? No, just kidding. So there we go. So you guys can kind of see everything is all kind of in there. Let me get those shadows in there too. We'll do that and we'll take that little photo. Bam, right there. Okay. Okay, so Peyote. Go to the website, which is beadshop.com, for information on the projects and the products from this broadcast. Sign up for the newsletter, kids. Drea kills it every morning with those newsletters. It's pretty awesome. She does a great job, and that's how we stay in touch with you guys for all of the important news that's going on here at beadshop.com. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up for you. Janice just got the beads this morning for the May mix. Janice is making the May mix. The May mix is going to be gorgeous. May is Janice's birthday month, so she's doing a fun one here. And I just wanted to shout out, someone asked about my scarf that I'm wearing today. The scarf that I'm wearing today was an anniversary gift, or no, a birthday gift, I think, for my 50th birthday a few years ago from my sweet Chris. It's from the Conservatory of Flowers in San Francisco, which is where we met. Save that as a trivia question. You never know. Okay, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. It's the 23rd of April today. It's Thursday, right? It's still Thursday. It's hard to keep track of those days, right? Tomorrow we're going to wrap up Peyote Stitch Week with, I'm going to show you how we zip up that little stretch bracelet. We'll look at that. We're going to look at maybe this piece that I worked on today, and then we're going to jump in and see what we've got going on for next week. We're going to start next week off with a knot on Tuesday, so we won't do a knot this Friday. But anyway, so that's my story there. I hope you guys are hanging in there. We're hanging in there. You know, it's a roller coaster ride. Every day is a roller coaster. But you know what? We're doing okay. And I know that you guys will have a lot of fun with this project. The handout, if you just go right to the handout, you click on handout, it'll pop up in a new screen and you can save it. Save it if you have like an iPad, save it as a PDF and store it in your iBooks is a good way to go. You can just print it out, of course, but you can also save it as a PDF and send it to your Kindle or whatever e-reader you have as well. So that's my story, kids. I'm sticking to it. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm going to get back into filling. Hopefully it's your order. And we will see you, or I will see you, all of you all, tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time for Creative Connections with Kate. We'll see you guys then. Thanks so much. And thank you to Allie for such a wonderful, wonderful, inspirational project. And Janice, you did a great job starting this project and getting it off the ground with those peyotes. Alrighty, well, thank you so much. Again, thanks for your sharing. Thanks for all of that. And I'll see all you all tomorrow. Bye.